First full day with a Prius. So, observation. There is no place to set things on top of the car because of the sort of aggressively aerodynamic shape of the vehicle. There's no good place when you come out from the store to set something on top while you open the door. And you do still have to have a hand free to open the door because you've got to get your fingers on the sensor. So that one's an interesting one. And the second thing is, today this is the first time we eat in the car. I shall try not to get crumbs anywhere. Okay, that episode was just decidedly too short. I wanted to end it on that extremely nice tracking shot there. I don't know, if you didn't see it, go back and take a look. Right? That's, we're zooming in, we're tracking the car as it pulls into the driveway. It's all very nicely done. And it was done entirely in post-production, and I'll tell you why. I shot that with the iPad and the iPad Pro, and the iPad Pro has 4K video, and so I post these to YouTube at 720 because they don't need to be any better than that. So that gives me a lot of pixels to spare, and so if I shoot on the iPad, I get the ability to do that. So I was playing around with the tracking shots and kind of zooming in, and that's not quite natural, but I don't do that very often, so it was good practice. And it just looked like the shot where you want to put up the like, comment, and subscribe, and so I thought, well, I'll just end that there, and then I go, oh, it's a minute long. Yeah, maybe I'll do a little longer. So, of course, I didn't get a lot to do today because I was at work, and took it for a drive to work and a drive home from work and drive at lunchtime. So it wasn't exactly a stellar day for driving. But I did discover a couple of things. The first is, it had not occurred to me, but this is the key fob for the car, and there is no ignition key. There was a button. There is no way you can operate that ignition key. You need to have this, and it needs to be in proximity in the car to get in the car, to start the car. You lose this, they're expensive. We've got two, and very expensive, ridiculously expensive. But today I noticed that there's actually a physical key lock on the door. I'm like, how is that? Dude, well, they never gave us a key. And it turns out there is a security key stuck inside the fob in case the batteries die and you can't open the door. So that's good. And it's one of those really hard to pick locks, so it's probably a lot easier to break the electronics. So that's good. And also, according to the manual, I guess if the batteries are dead, you can still hold this up to the power button on the car and start the car. So I guess there's a NFC or something in here that it can do. It would be NFC. I guess it would be an RFID, perhaps. Anyway, learned that. I also learned how to unlock all four doors at once from the outside. I mean, again, you could use the fob, but when you walk up to the car, if you are in proximity and you're going to the driver's side door, there's a sensor under the handle. So when you reach in and you touch the sensor and you're in proximity, it beeps and it unlocks, and you just open the door. That does not open the other door, so I was always going and pushing the button inside the door. Or you could push the button on here, but it's in my pocket. I don't want to do that, right? That's the whole point. I don't even have to take it out of my pocket to drive off in my car. I guess it turns out if you hold that a little longer, like 2 seconds more, then all the doors open up. So learned that. I also figured out the vents. There's 4 vents, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and I guess the damn car has the ability to detect when people are sitting in the seats. That's no big deal. But then it prioritizes the air conditioning for the people who are actually in the car based on who's in the car. So if just the driver's in there, it's really only kind of pumping air towards the driver. That is a fascinating, I guess it's a gas saving technique. I guess they can cut down on the amount of air that's being pushed through. So that's kind of cool. And then finally, I found the odometer. It's like, I saw one on the car we test drove. It had an odometer. But for the life of me, I could not find the odometer on mine. It was telling me how many miles were left on the tank, which was over 700, which is an impressive number on a tank of gas. It's only 300 miles from here to Los Angeles. So, cool. But I found it. The thing's got more odometers than I know what to do with it. It's got the actual life of the car odometer. It's got the Trip A odometer. It's got the Trip B odometer. And then it has, and this is kind of cool, it has this particular trip odometer. So every time you start the car, that 4th odometer resets to 0. And so on that particular trip, you can measure how far you went. And all the odometers show their overall gas efficiency. So, you can tell on this trip or your overall lifetime, or perhaps you took a trip and you used Trip A or Trip B. So I'm happy there. I'm beginning to get the hang of the screens, and I'm beginning to kind of set up a pattern that I like to see on the display. It's got plenty of pep. Any reviews I've heard that said it just hasn't got the power, it does. Even in the eco mode, which, as I understand, is the least power mode. I had it up at 65 miles per hour on the freeway yesterday, and it had absolutely no hesitation pushing up to 79 before I back off to the legal speed limit. But I was passing, and it worked great. I mean, I rarely take a car much over 75 anyway, because the fines are, excuse me, it's not me, it's you. No way, it's not you, it's me. There we go. Because the fines are too great. So anyhow, you're not allowed to use the HOV lane with a hybrid, not unless it's a plug-in hybrid, and you don't get away with not having emissions tests with a hybrid. So I'm stuck there. Still got to do those things. But there's a 5-year waiver on emissions tests on new cars in Arizona, so I don't have to do an emissions test for 5 years. Anyway, we already did the like, comment, and subscribe thing, so more adventures in Prius land as time goes by. Toodaloo. Toodaloo. How long has it been since I said toodaloo? There's something for the fans of the show. Go back, watch all the episodes, find the last episode that I said toodaloo in, and leave a comment below. Yeah, that's a plan. Lloyd, that's an assignment for you.